Welcome to Newsmax TV. I'm Ashley Martella. We're joined by the former mayor of Miami, Florida, Maurice Ferre. He's a Democrat and was the first United States mayor born in Puerto Rico, as well as the first Hispanic mayor of Miami. Mr. Ferre is running for the U.S. Senate seat vacated by Mel Martinez, the seat Charlie Crist is running for. Welcome to Newsmax, Maurice.
Nice to have you.
Thank
you, Ashley.
Why do you want to be a U.S. Senator?
Because I think I can do a good job, and I think my life experience, my maturity, and my ability to get the job done prepares me for this.
What do you see as the main differences between you and your rival Democrat, U.S. Representative Kendrick Meek?
Well, I'll tell you, I like Kendrick. Kendrick's a nice fellow. Kendrick has an 82% liberal voting record. I'm a middle-of-the-road, moderate Democrat. I think Kendrick is a young man with 8 years in Congress. He sits on a very important committee, Ways and Means. It's probably having that seat is more important than being a freshman U.S. Senator.
Well, the taxes are written.
Well, it's a very important place to be, but he doesn't want that. He wants to be a U.S. Senator. I think our life experiences and our careers in government are different, and I'm sure during the campaign we'll be able to debate that and go over all the differences in his tenure and mine.
You told the Florida Democratic Party conference last year that you think Charlie Crist has ignored the needs of Floridians. Could you explain that, please?
Yeah, well, you know, he embraces Barack Obama, and he takes in the stimulus money, which of course he had to because there's $3.4 billion. That's 6% of the budget. Without that, they wouldn't have been able to balance the budget. That would have been 42,000 people cut just from the educational roles, and that's teachers and others in the school systems in Florida. So he had to do it, I understand. But then the fact is that the state of Florida today is 51st out of 50 states. You say, well, why 51st? Because Puerto Rico is 5th. Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory. Florida is 51st. So if you're going to go out and get money from the federal government with stimulus, you try to get the maximum. Now here's the problem. The problem is that Florida is a super donor state. A super donor state. There are 4 of us. Florida's one of them. For every $100 we sent to Washington, we get $85 back. Well, that's okay, because we're in the top in education, we're in the top in all the indices. Well, you know what? We're not. We're at the bottom. We're 48th and 49th. School dropouts, people finishing high school, you know, prisoners per capita, all the indices. Florida's down on the bottom.
Of course, you have issues with Charlie Crist, but he's not the only Republican running. Marco Rubio is challenging him, and Marco Rubio is doing very well in the polls right now against Charlie Crist. What do you think of Marco Rubio?
I think he's a nice fellow, just like I think Charlie Crist is a nice fellow. I like them both, but I'm not running against either one of them right now. That comes in November. Right now, I'm running for the Democratic Party nomination, so I can run for the United States Senate in November. The primary is on August 24th. So right now, my race is with Kendrick Meek. I don't know if Marco Rubio is going to make it. If he does, fine.
Mm-hmm. Do you support the very controversial healthcare overhaul reform passed by Democrats alone?
You know, I think it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that it was without one single Republican vote. I think that's terrible. But let me put it to you this way. There's a fellow in history by the name of Otto von Bismarck. In 1883, he put in place in Germany a system where all Germans had public health care in 1883. Okay? It took until Teddy Roosevelt came along, who said, well, if the Germans can do it, why can't the United States of America? We can do any of these things. Teddy Roosevelt wasn't able to do it. The next guy that tried was Harry Truman. That's 70 years ago or 60 years ago. The fact is that the United States cannot continue to go up in cost from 17% of gross national product for our health to 20% in 2 years. That's too much. Germany, 10%, half of what we spend. If you look at all the indices, I like to look at indices, you know, when people die, how they die, et cetera, et cetera. Germany is much healthier than America. Why? That doesn't make any sense. So the bottom line is this. We got to do something. We got to contain the cost. It's unfair for 48 million Americans. Americans. Not talking about people that are here illegally or Americans that don't have insurance. Our costs are going up. We have to do something. Is this a good product? I don't think it is. I think it could have been much better. Unfortunately, it's not, but it's a step in the right
Do
direction.
you support a single-payer system?
I do not.
Okay. Florida Senator Bill Nelson managed to cut a deal allowing Florida seniors to be exempt from Medicare Advantage cuts in the Medicare Advantage programs. Now, is it fair that Nelson pulls this off while people in Medicare Advantage in other states will be subjected to the cuts?
Listen, politics in a democracy like America doesn't necessarily run on fairness. I think Bill Nelson represented his constituency well, and I think he did a good thing. I'm glad he did it. Not me. I'm sure that the hundreds of thousands of senior citizens in Florida who will be the beneficiaries will be happy that he did it. I'm proud that he did.
Okay, let's take it a step further. Harry Reid bought off Ben Nelson's vote by subsidizing Medicaid costs for Nebraskans at the expense of all the other states. Now, Nebraska's own governor says he wanted no part of it. He thought it was unfair. Do you think it's fair?
Listen, if you go back to the days of the cleanest president we've had, Ike Eisenhower used to trade votes. Ronald Reagan was a master at getting people to turn around and vote. So did Lyndon Johnson do it? You bet. Did Franklin Roosevelt do that? You bet. Does the leadership in the Senate do that? You bet.
Do you approve of what Senator Nelson did?
You know,
Ben Nelson in this case?
Yeah, I think it is important for the health bill to get through. There were beneficiaries in Louisiana because of what the senator from Louisiana did. There are beneficiaries in Nebraska, and there are beneficiaries in Florida. The net result, in my opinion, is positive. So the answer is yes.
Okay, Florida's unemployment rate is among the highest in the nation, 11.5%.
That's right, and the national average is 11.3, but the national average is going down and ours is going up.
And what would you do about that to try to turn it around?
52% of working Floridians make 150% of poverty level or less. Or less. Now, 150% of poverty level or less means that these are people that are working in minimal service tasks.
Right,
okay?
right.
And that's not the kind of, that's not healthy for a growing economy. We need to strengthen our economy. What Governor Jeb Bush did by bringing the Scripps Howard into Palm Beach is the type of thing that needs to be done. We also need to improve the infrastructure of Florida. High-speed train, for example, is one thing that I've been a strong supporter of since I was mayor of Miami. Finally, I think we're going to get something. Let me put it to you this way. There are only 2 high-speed trains in America that would make money. One is from Los Angeles to Las Vegas. The second one is from Miami to Orlando. Guess what Florida's doing? We're putting one in the application from Tampa to Orlando. Who's going to subsidize that? Who's going to pay for that? The state of Florida? That's what Governor Charlie Crist is pushing right now. That doesn't make any sense. So you ask me what am I going to do in Washington? I'm going to bring the common sense that I used when the city of Miami jumped from being a nothing type of city to being an important American city, which is what it was when I left in 1985. And in those days, I left the city of Miami with $43 million in the bank.
Would you say it's a liability that Florida's whole economy is so heavily tourism-based?
Absolutely. It's a liability because when the recession comes around, as we now have, we get hit worse. So it's not that tourism is bad. Tourism is great. But we need to have other things other than tourism.
And one more question. The Miami Herald refers to you as a long shot contender. Do you consider yourself a long shot contender?
I think the Miami Herald is a long shot contender.
Okay, Mayor Maurice Ferre, thanks so much for joining us here at
sir.
Newsmax.
Thank
Very
you.
interesting.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Good luck on the campaign
Yes, sir.
trail.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching Newsmax TV.
Sarah Palin's new book, Going Rogue in American Life, will be released on November 17th. You can be among the first to get your copy. Check out our incredible free offer for Sarah's new book. Just go to Newsmax.com and click on the top banner for this great offer. Act today.